our global considerations. Global considerations, we need to know global sourcing of inputs, overseas manufacturing, and global outsourcing. So with the global sourcing of inputs, this is when a business imports the resources they require for their production process from an overseas non-Australian organization. So the advantages of this is that it takes advantage of the comparative advantages, cheaper labor costs, and economies of scale. So it might be a lot more cost efficient for a business to import resources from another country, because, in Australia it might be very expensive. However, there are some hidden costs, so they can be quite costly. There might be some corporate socially responsibility risk, because if the organization they're importing from sort of engages in sort of exploitation and exploiting workers, that can impact that business's reputation if they're, getting business from that company. And also loss of control and loss of Australian jobs as well. Overseas manufacturing, that's when the entire production process literally just occurs outside of Australia, takes advantage of, again, the comparative advantages. It's a lot more cheaper. However, can be costly. There are some CSR risks, and then there's a loss of local employment as well. And then global outsourcing. This is when a business uses other organizations from Australia, from outside of Australia, to undertake certain non-production related business functions. So some examples of outsourcing could be a lot of businesses outsource like their call centers, their website development, their marketing. You might have heard that, some companies like Apple, they have call centers set up in, Singapore, India, and so that's an example of outsourcing. And that takes advantage of better expertise and comparative advantages. Maybe, Singapore, or the people in Singapore have a really good knowledge of, technology and the functionings of technology, or they're able to learn quite quickly. And so, they might be taking advantage of like the expertise of the people in the country. And again, there might be some disadvantages in terms of like CSR risks, loss of control, Australian jobs, and even potential loss of intellectual property. So sort of just keeping in mind that whenever you do engage in some sort of global business, that there is always a loss of Australian jobs, but also CSR risks, especially if you do not investigate, the business that you're, I guess, trading with, what their practices are and how they conduct their business. I've kind of gone through this, so I'm not gonna repeat myself, but it's just looking at the advantages and disadvantages of global sourcing of inputs and overseas manufacturing. And then again, global outsourcing. It's just when, some non-related business function is being given to another organization outside of Australia to undertake. So something like marketing, accounting, information technology, etc. Okay, so this is just a review question of Area Study 3. Explain the importance of operation management to meet the business objective of increasing profit. In your answer, refer to a contemporary business case study. So this one's worth 3 marks. I'll give everyone maybe a couple of minutes just to have a quick read of this and think about how many marks you'd give it. Okay, so hopefully everyone has given that one a read. This one will probably get 1 out of 3 just because Tesla can't be used as a case study. Remember that it has to be a business from the last 4 years, and it has to be a Australian business as well. Yeah, this part, only focused on cost reduction, not increased revenue. So the question asks you to sort of link it to the business objective of increasing profits. So it's really important that you also talk about increased revenue as well. Okay, I am gonna quickly skip through this one just because I'm a bit wary of time. But we can go back to these ones in case we do get some time towards the end of the lesson. But definitely do give this one a go. It just is another mark the answer question, but have a read of this one. This one was about evaluating the global outsourcing. And then I've also included some annotations as well. All right, amazing.